Hello, today's video is all about how to be a new substitute teacher, or even if you have subbed at another school, here's how to sub at a new school. And then there's also some tips and tricks from a ton of veteran teachers for anybody who's a substitute teacher, and really just good teaching advice from some of my favorite people here at school. The first thing you want to know is, where do I park my car, right? So make sure you find that out before you get to school. At least get a contact person that you'll need to talk to find out where to park, and get there in plenty of time so that you're not late to start class. That's the first thing you need to know, okay? So when you get to the room or the school, you're probably going to have to go to the office and check in first, right? And you're going to get some keys. Find out where the room is. Maybe even look at the school map ahead of time. That could help you. And when you get to the classroom, secure, lock away, hide away your personal belongings and the keys. Once you get there, you're going to have to look around for the teacher's desk. They may have sub plans on their desk, but I keep this emergency binder here also, so you'll definitely need to find the sub plans ahead of time. Also, I like to send them by email. Your teacher might have you send them by email. You want to study the sub plans, right? So whatever the teacher has, your basics, your passwords, whatever it is, you're going to want to study that more than once. Read it over in the beginning, right? And then make sure that you know what's coming up. Really going to want to know is your bell schedule for the school, if you have one, or when there's any changes from room to room. I'm at a high school, so the periods changing is what's important for us. Really cannot say enough about class management, how important it is. So when you get there, I want you to read any rules that the teacher has posted, or ask the teacher in an email if there are any rules that are things that you should absolutely be following. Sometimes it matters a lot less for what you're doing that day. Sometimes it doesn't, but it's good to know the rules ahead of time that the teacher has. I'm obsessed with Everything by Michael Lindson. Really great. I started out by reading this one, Dream Class, and he also has this one called The Class Management Secret. And that's really how I run my class, but not every teacher does. But even if they don't use this kind of methods, these are great books to read, and you might want to get some things down for yourself so that the kids get to know you when you go into the classroom, how it's going to go down. These are my class rules that are posted. I really like kids to be working during class time. That's my number one. When I'm talking, you're not. And phone use is needed for my class, but it should be only for class purposes, and that covers a whole lot more, right? Okay, you guys know I teach high school, right? These are my rules for my fashion class. Similar, but appropriate for this class. Let's talk about tech. At first glance, this is a heck of a setup, right? And if you're a regular teacher, please leave tech instructions for your sub, how to turn some of this mess on, right? For me, I tell them how to make the display happen on the big screen. I tell them how to play a DVD player, and they get their own password, so they know how to turn on the computer. And also, I leave instructions on my desk with how to use different remotes. And sometimes you even have to leave instructions as far as where the light switch is, right, in each room. For me, I'm looking to tell people to make sure to turn off the iron and unplug these before they leave, because that's their job before they leave. They make sure both of my irons are unplugged. Definitely know how to call the office. If you are a substitute regularly, something good to have would be some kind of tricks, right? So when the kids are finished early, or there's a part of the lesson you're not sure how to handle it, so you need to move on, something like that, have some kind of tricks, right? I call them tricks, but you're gonna have something that the kids can work on. When I was subbing, I had several books of word searches or different kinds of puzzles. A lot of puzzles that I could write on the whiteboard and have kids work on them together. I learned some learning games that were very easy to put in place with zero prep. Actually, the book that I used to carry when I was subbing, and there's so many puzzles in there that could be easily written on the whiteboard, and then you can play along with the kids. Here's a question I get asked: is free time okay? Okay, and that's really up to you and the teacher that you're subbing for. Maybe the teacher that you're subbing for will leave that as okay in her lesson plans, you know, and then besides that, you have to really gauge your level of comfort with the students that you're with. Is this something that you'll feel comfortable with? Are there boundaries? Can they get up and walk around? Can they sit wherever they want? Can they be on their phones, right? So these are some things you want to know your own comfort level with when you're dealing with specific classes. I saw a ton of no prep games on TikTok recently. One was about kids counting to 20 or 30, and they have to all count out loud, and if anybody says the same number at the same time, they have to start over. So that was really fun. But just get to know some of those group games. Maybe you carry some type of cards with you. That would be a fun group game. Now, like I said, I teach high school, so it definitely depends what grade you're going into. Okay, I can tell you there's been a lot of subs that came into my room that it did not work out. It just did not work out. There was yelling by the sub. You know, I would definitely recommend avoid yelling at people in general, especially people who are children that you may not know. Oh, there's the bell. Make sure you are appropriate as far as your language. Be respectful. Respectful is respectable. That's what I teach my class, so that's what I'm going to tell you too. And also come in with a really positive attitude. Like, okay, I work at a very good school and I write very nice notes about my students when subs come in. For them to have a certain expectation that my class is awesome, which they are. But go in there with that kind of attitude, like, you know what, I heard about this class. They are awesome, right? And you can tell them things like that, get to know them. You can share a little bit about your professional background with them and how you came to be a sub or what you know about the neighborhood or something like that, right? Start out on that positive expectation note. I'm going to share with you some of my colleagues' tips now, so I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching.
So here's a tip if you're a new sub, just choose your battles. Some things just aren't worth fighting for. You're literally there for a day. Move on.
Hi, don't get frustrated. You know the kids are going to be a problem, and they're going to reach out, and they're going to get noisy, they're going to have their phones out. Do not get frustrated. Just do what you can, get through the day.
I wish subs would be able to adjust to the climate of the classroom, be able to feel when a class is getting antsy, when they're getting bored, when they're getting excited, to kind of adjust the lesson plan accordingly. Obviously, not to deviate too much, but add in their own little anecdotes, or just be able to kind of cater to how the kids are feeling, because sometimes you as a teacher, sometimes when you do a lesson you don't know, sometimes it might take the whole period, other time the kids finish really fast or completely don't understand. So yeah,
something I would recommend a sub to do is to build relationship with the students, just asking what their name is, asking them how they're feeling. Having some kind of connection with the students will inspire the students to want to communicate with them and just acknowledge them and support each other and build that community in the classroom.
Yeah, hey, so I would say for subs, I would probably suggest just walking around the room, engaging the room. A lot of subs, I don't know, I'm not there to see them, but I would imagine a lot of them will sit at the desk. But I really encourage to walk around the room and see what they're doing, look at their work, engage with them, make a connection, and also just be aware of who's asking to go to the restroom, how long they're out, and so you can kind of keep that classroom management under control and build positive relationships.
I would greet every student at the door with a smile, and it sets the tone for positive interaction with them. And if they did kind of have a bad attitude, you can kind of snuff that out just by being a nice person to them when they come in.
I don't agree with that. I would tell them dress properly, And when you walk in the classroom, you have to command authority. When they see you, they know you're in charge. Ask and, you know, it's not going to work. You have to have that aura about you, that you're in charge.
Hey, new subs. One thing you got to do when you sub anywhere is don't take things personal. Students will try to push your buttons, and so don't take it personal. Don't make it personal.
Hands off. I would not touch students at all. And I would even avoid making comments about how they look, what they're wearing, anything like that at all. You know, and I've had a few subs that came into my room that we had to not have come back anymore, you know. A couple of them said inappropriate things to young ladies in the classroom, you know, so they get axed. And grateful that we have a space where that kind of behavior is not tolerated in my district, so I'm very lucky for that. Just make sure, you know, you want to talk to men and women and girls and boys in the most respectful way you can. You have to know you are going to have all kinds of people in your classroom, right? Just like when you go out into the world, there's all kinds of people. Some of the people in my classroom have IEPs, which means there's special education, which can be any range of names that come with that, right? And so I have to be aware or awake when I meet somebody that they may or may not have an IEP, right? And don't just judge people right away and based on mannerisms or things like that, right? Pay attention, get some education in that area. And then also there's some people that are new to English and there's no intelligence issue. In fact, they're learning multiple languages, obviously, but that's a good thing to be aware of. Maybe somebody's not ignoring you or being defiant, but maybe they just are new to English, so they're just learning. So that's just a couple things to be aware of. Another time, actually one of the first places I used to sub, I remember calling the office a few times because kids had been difficult or defiant or something like that, or I don't even remember, it's been so long, but I remember calling the office and they would send up one of their campus supervisors / security guards, right? So they sent this guy up and he changed my whole career. I think I had called him up almost every time I worked. And then this last time I called him up, he said to me, you know, just so you know, they don't really like it when you call the office. And it dawned on me like, oh my gosh, like I'm supposed to handle everything in the class, right? I'm supposed to at least step up a lot more. And that really changed things for me. That was really helpful. He helped me. He was kind and just a really great person. And it really changed the course of my teaching because I began to handle things in my classroom and kind of regulate and have consequences within my classroom. That was just the beginning for me, but that was really a pivotal time when I was subbing. I went to this school and I think it was a middle school, and I put my keys down on the desk and I went and did my whole day, and I went back at the end of the day to bring the keys to the secretary and they were gone. So I was supposed to drop them in a box or something like that, but the secretary of the school had gone, and I look around and everybody's gone. There was nobody at the school. Well, something happened that they closed early or something like that. I don't remember. No one was there and the gate is locked. So now I had already put my key under the box or whatever. I don't remember what it was. So I look at the gate and I'm like, all right, I think I can climb this. And I had to climb the fence to get out of school. I was like 33 years old, 34 years old, climbing right out of the school. So I got the police on the phone. I was like, listen, if you see somebody climbing out of the school, this is what's going on. But that was one crazy sub. I hope this helps you. There's a lot of great benefits to being a sub. I mean, you get to be known in the community, you get to know students, you can try out so many different grade levels and different types of classrooms to see what you like if you're going to teaching school. It's great if you just want to like work some days, and then if you need to be doing other things, you know, for convenience. At the end of the day, there's nothing to do. You don't take your homework. You don't take your work home with you, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, it's just you can really learn which school you want to be in also and where you want to apply, get some great experience. Hope it helped. Drop me a like if you enjoy this video, and feel free to share this with your subs that come into your classroom. And if you're a teacher and you have any other tips, leave them below in the comments. Thanks for watching.